Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. It's about a little after 3:30 in the East Coast time. Market's going to close in about 25 minutes. I got to record the video now. I got some high school basketball to attend, so hopefully everybody is doing well. All I ask is if you could be so kind, click a like on the video, subscribe, share, support the channel. Again, hopefully, I could continue to provide you value, right? Provide you value on a day-to-day basis. If you are interested in pivots and you've been following along for a while, again, all it takes is 30 days to see if it's a right fit for you. If you want to try, all you need to do is click the link below and we will get you set up. So what's going on here? We got bounce back day in the market. The longer a tape digests information, whether it's macro, geopolitical, economic, whatever the case may be, the less and less volatility, the more volatility gets small. I guess I'm saying exactly the same thing. So a couple of days ago, we obviously saw the slap in tariffs. Yesterday, we saw within literally the first hour, Mexico get an extension, Canada get an extension of 30 days to kind of negotiate, to put yourself in a situation to kind of have a little bit of leeway to figure things out. And again, everything started spiking yesterday after the close. And you look at today's session, little by little, the volatility started shrinking. We had a really good gap up today on PLTR last night. They came out with really good earnings, very, very aggressive earnings. It just kind of been flatlining the whole day, but a really, really strong jump. Apparently, the AI bubble is not bursting, at least not in the world of PLTR. You have names like Starbucks that, again, it really just shows you when a company comes out with really, really good earnings. Again, the digestion is the key. Starbucks is starting to put in a pretty good move, kind of a second leg coming up in the next couple of days. The China part of the tariff scenario is not going to go away anytime soon. They basically played tit for tat last night. They slapped this with some tariffs as well. The only difference is the market kind of embraced it, right? The market embraced it and kind of moved on. That's a good thing. That's called digesting and kind of omitting materialistic information, kind of moving on. That's a very, very good proactive thing the market can do. And now we are headed into more earnings, right? Today we saw PayPal get absolutely hammered despite coming out with really, really good earnings. After the close, you have Google, right? Let me show you guys some option flow on Google just to give you guys an idea of what I'm seeing here, at least into the close. You have Google here coming out. You can see here, a little bit of a mixed bag here. You got Google there, you got some 207 puts weeklies coming in. We did see some 220 weeklies. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag on the side of Google. AMD is kind of the interesting one going into tonight's earnings. Like I said in last night's video, or even the last couple of videos, there's really no enthusiasm into AMD's quarter, right? And you can see here by the institutional money flow, at least on the surface, there it looks like, at least for me, again, anything could happen after earnings. AMD could come out with bad earnings and the stock can go to 100, but at least on the surface, right? If you look at the option flow on AMD, and this guy literally about an hour ago bet 1.1 million for the February 125 calls, right? So you can see this is all call buying coming in on AMD, which kind of basically tells me that the institutional money flow, at least they believe, again, nobody knows, right? But at least they believe that the market could be kind of embracing a horrible quarter. So if anything comes out that's not horrible, right? It looks like just the way they're betting, they could see that the price is built into the stock and potentially can go higher. Again, we'll see. We'll see what happens. What happens with AMD? Some other names that are starting to look very, very good here. You got Amazon with a huge breakout. Last couple of days took out this whole channel here. You have a name, for example, like Meta, right? Meta is setting up really nicely. Again, they're going to be affected one way or another by Google's earnings tonight. Again, I'm recording this 20 minutes to the close, so by the time you see it, unfortunately, I apologize, but I won't know. I won't know what these stocks are coming out after hours with earnings. I'm not going to be here, but I figure either record the video or not record the video. So I figure let me share my 2 cents of what's going on here. NVIDIA continues to have a little bit of problems. Again, this is now the third day in a row below the 50-day moving average. We caught actually a beautiful pivot today on NVIDIA above yesterday's highs, traded it right into the 5-day supply. So that's really good. Again, it's still worrying me that it's still below the 200-day moving average. This is day 3. Obviously, AMD is going to have some sort of effect on NVIDIA tonight. Tomorrow, ARM is coming out with earnings, so obviously that is going to affect NVIDIA as well. Tesla is starting to show a little bit of life, right? A little bit of life. Let me just look at the option flow, and we can see if we can get a little bit of a better picture. So if you look at the option flow, and again, you can see these are all buyers coming in, especially in the last several hours. You can see here a buyer came in for next week's 425s. Here comes the 385 weeklies, the 395s for next week, the 400 weeklies. And if you look at what's going on right now with Tesla, again, this is going into the close. This is putting up a big candle, guys. Look what's happening here into the close. So what I'd like to see what happens with Tesla tomorrow is I want to see Tesla get back above the 50-day moving average. As you can see here, it's one of the very few stocks that are below supply. But what I like seeing right now, it's above yesterday's channel. And now, as you can see here, kind of in real time, it's starting to approach the 5-day moving average, roughly around this 393, 394 area. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle this 394, 395 area if they get rejected. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But the ultimate for Tesla to get really loose, okay, it's going to need to get back above the 50-day moving average, reclaim the 400, 402 area, and that's where you start seeing a potential for this thing to open up. It'd be nice to see if there's any type of news that could potentially come overnight. So if that happens, it's going to get rid of all these supply zones. See all these supply zones? These supply zones are impossible to trade intraday because these are all levels where it should get rejected. But if we can get some positive news on Tesla and potentially gap this thing above the 200, above the 50-day moving average, that's when we start looking at last week's high. So it's going to be very important to see what's that. Snow broke out today. Really big move. Nice long distribution. This is now, if this would close like this would be the highest close in this whole entire formation ever since they came out with earnings all the way back to December. So that's starting to look very good as well. But the key elements tonight is Google, AMD. Again, let's see if AMD has a scenario of all the news is baked in. God, I mean, the investors at AMD really need some sort of bone here because this thing has just been drifting for a while below the 50-day moving average. Hopefully, everything is already baked into the stock, and the AMD shareholders could get a little bit of a relief with some sort of good news. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But obviously, this is going to dictate tomorrow, especially for the semiconductor group. And obviously, when ARM confirms tomorrow's earnings release, that should give us a bigger picture. So you have ARM tomorrow, you have AMD tonight, you have Google tonight. Pivots today were very strong, right? Very strong on the pivot side today. Meta, again, it just looks good, man. Meta really looks good here. 704, 705.30 needs to confirm. Right now, it's currently trading around 704, 705. Any close above the 705, it may start attacking that 711 area from a couple of days ago. Microsoft, I was looking for a flush, never got there. Amazon broke out really strong today. 239.40 and 240.30 needs to build. Here is Amazon. Right here is Amazon. It took out this whole range here, this whole 4-day range here. Traded as high as 42.5. Again, if it reports on Thursday, let's see if this thing could give you another push tomorrow into the 45s. PLTR, again, great quarter, right? Absolutely great quarter. Put in the opening range high of 104.88. That's what it needed to build. Traded all the way up to 107 and is just kind of sitting here now, for the last, literally the last 4 hours, going sideways. But the fact that the sellers are comfortable at this level really shows you that, potentially you could see a lot more higher prices in its near future. We saw some June 120s, 150 calls coming in PLTR. So obviously, this is not one of those one and done situations. The institutional money flow is starting to get pretty aggressive in the name. Again, congratulations for all you guys who have been riding this thing or trading this thing, but ultimately, really good move there as well. Snow, we talked about 188.42 needs to build. Here was Snow, big, beautiful breakout today on Snow. So it took out the 88.40s, traded all the way up to 191. The one thing that's not here, but it was definitely one of the, basically two trades of the day. We caught NVIDIA perfectly above yesterday's high off the 119 level. We sold it into the 21 5-day supply, and you kooky cats, all you guys in the webinar who are, degenerates, you actually shorted at 21 and it went all the way down to under 18. So again, great trading action. This is what's great about this market. It's really honoring really good levels, both long and short. So as long as the market continues to keep this up, and again, I'm not talking about the volatility and the headlines. We don't want to see that. But we definitely want to see organic moves with wider ranges continue to play out, because if that's the case, both longs and shorts can both eat and everybody can coexist. So that's it, folks. That's it. I have to run. Right now, it's about 10 minutes to the close. Again, your guess is as good as mine. What happens after hours with AMD, what happens with Google. But the most important part is no matter how you trade, no matter what your time frame is, you are prepared. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night. With God's help, I'll see you all tomorrow.